From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Friday, December 6, 2019. You're listening to the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Huckabee. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee. And out there on the ones and twos, keeping us on the rails today is not our illustrious producer, Chandler Strang. It is our illustrious producer 2.0, new and improved. That's my friend, Clark Flippo. How you doing, Clark?
Greetings.
And out there in Loveland, Virginia, getting into the Christmas spirit today is our friend Jesse Carey.
Hello. I'm pretty excited for today's show. Speaking of the Christmas spirit, Tyler, I don't want to jump too far ahead because I know you have to introduce a guest, but I had the privilege of putting together a very exciting game. Can I tease that out for later in the show?
I think you should because I know only a little bit about it, and I just want to hear. I'm excited about seeing how the cookie crumbles on this one.
And
what's up? What's going
Clark
on?
will be playing the game with one of our staffers, our fellow coworkers, Amy later. Clark, I don't even think you know what the game is, so I'm going to tell you right now. And there's no cheating, no looking at your phone or anything between now and when we start. The game is, I'm in the Christmas spirit, and the game is called Not in Our Lifetime. And the premise is, you guys watch Lifetime Christmas movies. Who doesn't? They're incredible. So I will read the title of a film and a brief synopsis and tell you who stars in it. And you have to tell me if it's an actual Lifetime Christmas movie or one we just made up. So, Clark, get ready, man. It doesn't get, the stakes don't get higher than this.
Don't get higher. Yeah, this is it.
Pressure's on. The pressure's on.
Yeah.
Jesse, this is I feel like about once a week you come to me and you say, Tyler, how does this sound for a game? And I always say they're great because they are. I don't have to lie to you. We're friends.
Yeah.
I would tell you if I didn't like it, but sometimes they are a little bit better than others. And you road tested a few of your questions on me, and I think I did pretty poorly, if I remember correctly. You did. Lifetime, it's a little outside of my lane.
This game is impossible to win, and I can't wait to see. Clark, you and Amy both may fail. You both may get them all wrong, but the listeners will win. But we also have a great guest, too.
I'm really excited about this one. Our friend Brooke Ligertwood is back with us. First time we've talked to Brooke in a little while. She's here to talk to us about the new album from Hillsong Worship. It's called Awake. So we got that. We got a game. We got a lot to get to today. So let's get to it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be doing some Hot List. You're listening to Linus and Lucy by Anderson .Paak. When you find out that Anderson .Paak has a Linus and Lucy cover, you don't leave that out of the podcast. You got to get that.
That's included. Yeah.
It's choice. You got to get that in there. Beginning of the podcast, you heard Prom Queen by Beach Bunny. Okay, it's time for our weekly look back at some of our favorite stories from the intersections of faith and culture this week. It's time for...
It's the Hot List. The Hot List. It's sizzling.
There's some good ones this week, Tyler. Good ones.
Oh, there's a lot. Oh my gosh, we had a lot of fun this week. Sometimes you have to kind of dig a little bit for the news. Sometimes the news just comes to you on a silver, just served up to you, steaming hot.
And sometimes, like this week, I just make stuff up. No, this all really happened.
This is all ripped from the headlines.
It's all hot. It is hot, and it's in list form.
We're coming to number 5 this week. This is going to be interesting. Kirk Franklin is going to help produce an NBC series about the gospel music industry. So NBC is moving ahead with a new drama about the gospel music industry. It's going to be called Kingdom Business, and they're not skipping on getting the facts right. Kirk Franklin will join Holly Carter and Devon Franklin to produce the series. In an Instagram post, Devon Franklin explained the show is a behind-the-scenes look into the world of the gospel music industry and all the conflict and secrets that come with money, fame, and success. Jesse, where are we at on this one? What do you think?
Well, first, I love the title, Kingdom Business. Little inside baseball.
Yeah, that's a good title. That's right there.
Like, so when I first heard the concept, well, Clark and I talked about this briefly on Daily earlier this week. There has been some success with some of these prestige dramas that take place in the music industry that on network TV. So like Empire, Nashville, looking at, the world of hip hop and country that have done really well and were interesting shows. I like that this one is being made and produced by people who are Christians who don't seem to be overly cynical about faith or the gospel music. But that log line that you read that Devon Franklin shared from I think it was from Deadline, who initially kind of posted the release, is conflict, secrets, that come with money, fame, and success. Like,
sounds a little seedy.
It sounds very seedy. And that's kind of the fun of some of these other music industry shows is there is a lot of drama, but this is kingdom business, man. This is gospel. And right. Kirk Franklin, obviously we're big fans of, but like Devon Franklin isn't really known for like edgy content. He's been on our show before, he's written
the least edgy content available.
Yeah. I mean, he's done, some of the movies that he's produced I feel like they're higher quality sort of faith-based films. Like I feel like he's got a pretty good eye for interesting stories to tell, but they're agreed. I would not say anything that he's produced has an edge to it, Yeah. And so for them to kind of have this intrigue, behind the scenes intrigue of the gospel music industry, is an interesting approach.
Up to this point, I think the Relevant Podcast might be the most edgy thing he's been a part of. So I don't know if Kingdom Business will set a new bar or if this is or if we're the ceiling on how edgy Devon will go. Well, but I'll look forward to hopefully get to talk to him a little bit.
Yeah. But
when
this comes out. This is a network show too. Though.
Yeah. I think that, so it's not HBO, so they can't get too, this isn't going to be a like vinyl
or Secession or something
behind the industry. Yeah, exactly. I do think that living here in Nashville, you do hear a lot about the contemporary Christian music industry, which is related to, but obviously distinct from the gospel music industry. And you do hear some kind of like behind the scenes stories that would probably be a little bit surprising to some of the listeners of K-Love now and then. So I think there's material there. For sure. I don't know how dramatic this is going to go. If this is going to be if this is going to be kind of melodrama, or if this is going to be a really honest, real look at what the gospel music industry is like. There's a lot of opportunity here, and getting somebody like Kirk involved is obviously a really smart move. I don't know if anybody knows it better than he does. So let's go. Looking forward to it. The more, I don't think we even have like a target release date or anything like that at the moment, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, just announced. So I guess we'll keep people posted as soon as we find out.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in number 4 this week, Joel Osteen. Speaking of the gospel music industry, Joel Osteen and Kanye West will reportedly do a massive event at Yankee Stadium. Oh boy. Okay, so according to TMZ, the duo is planning an event that will take place at Yankee Stadium in May, where Osteen will preach and West and his Sunday service team will perform the music. Osteen's America's Night of Hope is sort of a touring church service, which travels to major locations around the country, including several past appearances at Yankee Stadium. A few weeks back, of course, Kanye was a guest at Lakewood Church in Houston, where Osteen's the pastor. And in addition to leading a musical performance, he also took to the stage and gave an extended testimony about his new interest in faith.
I mean,
right.
judging from your
This
tone,
checks out.
Tyler, it doesn't sound like you're going to be making the trip to Yankee Stadium in May.
I haven't been invited to this yet, so I don't see any reason for any of us to go. I don't know, man. I don't want to be. I know I sound like pretty cynical about this. I don't mean to be overly cynical, but based on mostly based on a lot of my concern, I would say, about this, my skepticism about this revolves more around Osteen.
Yeah.
Like that guy's just he's kind of I think he's showing us his stripes, and based on the industry that he runs there in Houston, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of. I wouldn't say his night of hope is inspiring a lot of hope in me at the moment, although I'm open to having my mind changed when the actual event goes down.
Well, Tyler, this is America's Night of Hope, so you better get on the hope train because
Don't knock it till you try it.
It's America's Night of Hope time. No, listen, Osteen, I understand the criticism. I think most people's beef with him is comments that he's made, and it's kind of been a part of his brand, sort of this prosperity gospel leaning approach to his sermons, and his style is sort of a fusion between honestly sort of like self-help principles and kind of the secret along with the gospel. And so, and he's not really known for his theological depth. I don't really know what I think about this kind of like pairing, because I think the thing that's concerning with, and we've talked about this at length, so we don't have to talk about it a ton more, but some of the things that Kanye has said recently that makes it seem like he's kind of getting close to the prosperity gospel in what appears to be a potentially unhealthy way. This sort of honestly, it's sort of the quid pro. How can I not say it when it's in the news every day? Quid pro quo,
spiritual quid pro quo.
Yeah, exactly. Type of faith where if you do certain things, God will reward you with certain things, and if you put him on your album, he'll relieve your tax burden or whatever Kanye kind of suggested. So I think there is some concern, but it's certainly causing a lot of conversations about faith. So it is.
Yeah, that's a good.
If you were to take me back to January 1st, 2019. I mean, we're coming back on, the end of the year here. And if you were to take me back to the beginning of the year, and or Tyler, and I had come to you and said, hey, who at the end of the year, what is the most unlikely pop culture friendship and kind of collaborative relationship that you think would emerge in culture? How many guesses would it have taken you before you would have suggested Joel Osteen and Kanye West?
I would have exhausted my list, my Rolodex of celebrity names that I got in my mind before I got to this one for sure. And I do think that there's, we've reported on Kanye West having interactions with. He's reached out to, we're aware of Jerry Falwell Jr., Liberty University, want to do a Sunday service situation up there. Franklin Graham reached out to about maybe getting involved and doing some hurricane relief. And now obviously have done a few different collaborations with Joel Osteen. And these are all varying degrees of good feelings, about good vibes about all these guys, let's say.
Very diplomatic of you. Yeah.
Especially when there's so many, really excellent people who I would love to see this, who could really use the sort of attention that a name like Kanye could bring to their ministry, their church, and who are doing some really, really cool work. We try to talk about these people a lot, and a lot of them we've been very fortunate to host on this show. It's just a shame that this interest and faith that he has had and Jesus is King has ended up taking him to some people that we have many times over the years on this show expressed a lot of, I think, justified skepticism about
and concern.
But hopefully, if it ends up being a good thing for the people who attend, then more power to him. I sure hope it does.
I know I'll be there. Front row, Yankee Stadium. So get my best life on. Now. My best life now.
Coming in at number 3 this week. I'm excited about this. The WeWork movie you knew was coming. It's finally happening. All right. So no sooner have the fortunes of WeWork plummeted off the cliff of late capitalism pipe dreams and into the icy depths of reality than Hollywood smelled an opportunity. Charles Randolph, who won an Oscar for The Big Short and wrote the hotly anticipated Fox News sex scandal drama Bombshell, will handle the scripting duties, which will focus on WeWork's founder and former CEO, Adam Neumann. Neumann was hailed as an entrepreneurial wonderkind until WeWork's disastrous IPO saw him leave the company he founded. Now, admittedly, he made more money failing at his business than most successful owners could ever dream of. And that's part of what makes WeWork's story such a compelling microcosm of the millennial economy. Randolph's script will mostly pull from the reporting of Fast Company senior editor Katrina Brooker, whose reporting on Neumann and his complex relationship with SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son resulted in the huge investment that helped turn WeWork into a global powerhouse until it wasn't. Now, that's about all we know for the moment, but it looks like studios want to fast track this one because in Hollywood, like in meteoric startups, timing is everything.
There we go.
So there's a lot of layers to this story.
Yeah. And I've been, consuming a lot of culture coverage that is reflections on the last decade. As you know, we're not only about to close out the year, we're about to close out the decade. And I've been reading the work of a lot of critics. And one of the consensuses I've kind of, observed, and I think it's a fair statement, is that if you had to pick one movie that is the movie of the decade, what I've seen on a lot of lists is The Social Network, which is of course the
hard to argue.
Yeah, it's incredible. Sorkin wrote the script. It's an incredible movie, but not only that, like the story of Facebook, really, offers a sort of symbolic look at the decade and the generation that kind of came of age in this decade professionally. And, and it also is a movie about not just a business and not just a technical innovation, but it's a movie about how relationships have evolved and how modern relationships, now are, based on these sort of online transactions. And so there's a lot of ideas baked into that movie that served as a bigger picture for where we are culturally when you look back at the decade. So I think WeWork and their story, there's a lot of elements to the story that I feel like can provide that sort of, like you were saying in your description, sort of this like cultural microcosm. It's about
exactly.
It's a story about hubris. It's a story about optimism. It's a story about side hustles. It's a story about investments that are much larger than a return can ever be expected on. There's just a lot of interesting elements to this story that I feel like isn't just going to provide a look at what happened with WeWork, but hopefully kind of shine a light on a bigger cultural moment that we're in.
And it could potentially do, the Social Network really did a lot of work in defining how millennials at the time anyway, operated in relationship to each other and to the internet. I think there's an opportunity for the WeWork story to sort of do the same thing for millennial relationships and maybe Gen Z relationships increasingly to work and money. Which are becoming increasing concerns and obviously have become a lot more. There's been a lot more conversations about those things over the past couple of years. And I think the WeWork story is a really interesting, almost parable of how those things have played out. And just the way that increasingly, not unlike the Fire Festival story from a few years ago, grifts are becoming more increasingly sort of a norm. And you couldn't call WeWork a grift in the same way that Fire Festival was, but it's hard not to look at somebody like Adam Neumann, who walks out of a failed IPO, a very, very wealthy man, and not feel like there's some sort of, not get a sense of why a lot of people feel like there's a certain level of unfairness to how this tech economy has played out, at least as far as like Silicon Valley goes.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing too that I feel like is interesting in this story is, especially when because we're looking at it through even kind of the faith lens, even though there's not a direct faith story here, the idea of WeWork in general, I feel like raises a lot of interesting ideas. Yeah. I mean, so, if for people, if they aren't familiar with WeWork, it's you pay to be able to go work in a co-working space with other professionals who don't work in like a traditional office space, right? Mm-hmm. Ultimately, it's the need that it's fulfilling is people's need for community, right? Like it's people don't want, if they're not, working in an office, the need that they're willing to pay money to have met is they want to be around other people and they want to be around similar people. That's a role that traditionally, if it wasn't met in a traditional workspace, people would go to a place like a church for, maybe not in the professional sense, but when they wanted a need for community, that churches a lot of times met that need. Now a place like WeWork has stepped in to provide people with a place to go. Yeah, obviously there are services that they provide that are helpful, if you're working, but at the same time, at the core of it, we is in the name. It's a place that is sort of selling community. And I think that's an interesting aspect of the story too.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I used to hear about this a lot more from what we'll call like the Christian subculture. And I think they were really honest. They were kind of ahead of the curve in calling attention to this in like the late 90s, early 2000s. There used to be a lot of pastors and even youth pastors talking about the dangers of consumerism. Mm-hmm. They would talk about, how bad consumerism was. And that's kind of faded away from the church right as it became a bigger concern in the mainstream economy, I think. And I think it'd be an interesting time for some pastors to pick up that ball again and talk about the dangers of consumerism from a spiritual angle, because WeWork did what a lot of places in this country at least do and have always done, which is find sort of a economic way to exploit what are really deeply felt spiritual needs that we have. And in the case of WeWork, they were very successful at it initially until, of course, they weren't. Yeah. And that's an interesting faith layer to this story. And I think there's a real opportunity for the church to swoop in and say, what WeWork is trying to provide here is something that the church has always, as long as the church has been around, has provided very naturally and organically as part of the promise of Jesus Christ. Yeah, certainly. And that's why I think this movie has such potential, because it's on the subtext is almost as interesting as the text, and the text is very interesting. Yeah, exactly. Let's take the subtext to text now. Coming number 2 this week, Netflix's new show Messiah looks at a mysterious miracle performing religious leader. Not a whole lot of subtlety in this one. So Netflix has released a trailer for its upcoming series Messiah, and it looks like it might cause some interesting conversations and maybe a little bit of controversy too. According to Netflix, the show follows a CIA officer who investigates a charismatic figure whose followers believe that he can perform miracles, and looks at the question, is he a divine entity or a dangerous con artist? However, Mark Burnett and Roma Downey, who, along with being serious players in Hollywood, are the devout Christians behind the Bible series and the recent remake of Ben-Hur, are among the show's executive producers, so there's reason to believe it will have a particular appeal to Christian audiences. Here's a clip.
In a world.
He's come out of nowhere and we don't know who he is.
What do we know about him?
He's leading desperate people.
So this is a cult?
We don't know who he's associated with. He could be creating an army. Or he could be leading them to their death.
What were you doing in Syria?
Delivering a message.
A message from whom?
My father.
And who is your father?
We've lost it.
What do you mean?
He just disappears.
No one just disappears.
We all witnessed a miracle.
He saved my daughter's life.
You need to see this.
Bury it for as long as you can.
This is one I'm actually kind of optimistic about this, Tyler. Like
the concept is there.
The concept is great. I mean, there's a lot of intrigue, and from the look of the trailer, the production value is there too. Like this does not look like a cheesy Christian production. This looks like a real deal prestige TV effort. Yeah, this is a Netflix original. Like, I feel like their track record's hit or miss, but I don't think anyone would accuse them of doing things that are of low quality. Like, they might not be of everyone's taste, but they're certainly putting a lot of money behind their TV shows. I think the concept is super interesting. I think, like I said, the visuals look really cool. I mean, it doesn't look like they spare any expense with them kind of doing some globe trotting, in the trailer. And I like it too, because it's, particularly Mark Burnett and Roma Downey, they've done like the straight up Bible adaptations, right? I mean, they did the Bible miniseries, they did the New Testament, they did all of that. And they, those are huge hits. But I kind of like that there's a show that's going to ask faith questions that's actually taking kind of a controversial angle. Like, I think that's an interesting approach.
There's a lot of directions this one could go. We don't obviously know right now. But I think that the idea of it, the straight up on paper concept, the elevator pitch, really, really interesting. I'll be curious to see. Yeah, where it goes from here. Yeah. I really can't predict what the ending is going to be like, and that's the most refreshing thing of any Christian content we've had in a while. Is I don't know what I don't know what twist the plot could take before it's all over. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for it.
And then coming in at number 1 this week,
the obvious choice.
There was nothing else we could have gone with. A Christian version. Heavy quotes here. A Christian version of the Cha-Cha Slide has gone viral. Okay.
Of course.
So we are all familiar with Christian versions of famous pop songs. We've been in this bit. This isn't our first rodeo here on Relevant. We've done a lot of these. Usually how it goes is someone comes along, swaps out a pop song's kind of bluer elements for something that's more wholesome and Christian, kind of like a Weird Al, but for church people. But this version of the Cha-Cha Slide doesn't really follow that take. Do you guys know what I mean? Because you've listened to the Christian version of the Cha-Cha Slide.
I feel like it was all over the internet this week. Well, the weird thing is, like, the original version of the Cha-Cha Slide, I would not call unchristian. Like, it's
very agnostic. It's very platonic.
All it is instructions for dance moves. Like, if you've been to a wedding or like a skating rink in the last decade, you've done this, right? Like, it's literally just, audibly telling you instructions to do. Slide to the left, slide to the, I mean, there's nothing, there's nothing, other than dance instructions. It's a very odd song to try to spiritualize
about it.
Admittedly, perhaps the fact that it's just about dancing makes it the least Christian song of all, according to some interpretations of Scripture.
Very good
but if that's the case, then this version doesn't really fix that. Yeah. It just adds it purports to add like new sort of like Christian lyrics, like Christian versions of these things. But even some of those I wasn't really tracking with. Like, what's the Christian thing? Because instead of slide to the left, it's don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Is that Christian? I guess it's not Christian. Essentially, you're supposed to keep your eyes on forward. Jesus, towards
keep your eyes on the prize. Man.
Is that what it is? On heaven, as straight and narrow.
Yeah, some of it's a little bit of a stretch, but I mean, we'll play a clip here. But for people to really appreciate it, they have to see the dancing itself. But Clark, why don't
video? Yeah. It's a visual slice, but we'll do a little clip.
Yeah, here it is.
We're about to get holy, 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 holy. Everybody, clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, we about to have some spiritual milk. To the left.
What is spiritual milk?
Take a step of faith.
I'm kind of disturbed by that.
On the devil, let's stomp.
Phrase, to be honest.
On temptation, let's stomp. Bible slide, real smooth.
Bible slide, real smooth.
Now praise and shout. To the right. Take a step of faith. Jump out the boat. Right foot, let's go. Left foot, let's go.
To be honest with you.
Bible slide now, y'all. Now it's time to get holy. Get right now. To the left. take it to the grave, and see it resurrect. Come alive this time. Right fist, two pumps.
Okay, here's the thing.
Okay, I think we got to call.
Yeah, you get the idea. Okay, here's the thing.
We've spiritual milked it for all it's worth.
Okay, I want to because I've thought about this video a lot in the last 24 hours.
It's visited me in my dreams.
Yeah, because I mean, as you noted, Tyler, when you first shared it on the site, it's actually been on YouTube since 2012, but kind of was rediscovered this week. And, you know, it's too easy to like go on YouTube and, you know, find a video of some college kid in their dorm with an acoustic guitar doing a Christian version of like of a pop song. Like, listen, I know sometimes we have fun with those videos, but like it'd be easy to like just play those and punch down and make fun of these earnest attempts. This one is. It's like I'm not really entertained and intrigued and amused by it because of like the kind of making fun of it element. It's just so weird. Like it's very curious. Like because I honestly can't.
They put a lot of work into it. They put a lot of work. Like there's a whole dance troupe.
Yeah,
and they're all doing this together. So somebody worked hard on this.
But I can't tell tonally. If it's meant to be ironic, if it's meant to be like parody, if it's meant to be like a fun church project, there's just so many odd elements to it that I don't understand. You know what I mean? That like I am amused by it because it is in some ways it
made me laugh.
In some ways it's intentionally funny. Some of the humor is unintentional, but more than anything, it's just so strange that I can't stop watching it and thinking about the motivations of the people who made it, you know?
If you haven't watched it yet and it's on Relevant, you got to do it. You just got it. You got to power through as much as you can. The voice you hear up front, it's a pretty smooth, kind of sonorous, deep voice. It's coming from a guy you won't believe what your eyes when you see the guy with the voice because he's a very slight of build.
It's not what you picture a big baritone.
No, assuming that it is, they didn't overdub it, which they really could have given all the other strange elements of this video. He looks kind of like the Blues Clues guy.
He does, but do you know, I saw someone observe this. He's dressed exactly like Ned Flanders. He's wearing a green sweater and khakis.
He does. Which is another point that maybe this isn't completely earnest.
That's the thing. Like, is this like who are these people and why did they make this?
I don't know.
And how much?
I tried to find out. I looked. I wanted to try to call him up and get him to
it's a mystery.
But there's no. It's a mystery.
The other thing too is I was looking at it and it's like I can't tell if that's a real church because there's like stained glass in the background.
I don't know.
Or
I thought the same thing.
Or is this like a staged type of, you know, like did someone create like a set of what is supposed to be a church? Like again, it's amusing, but it's more of like a weird mystery to me, and that's why I'm kind of interested in it. You know,
it's I am fascinated by this clip, and I really when I sat down because I wrote about it for the site yesterday, and I really didn't know where to begin. There's nothing to say about this song that it doesn't already kind of say itself.
Yeah.
It's just, you just got to see it. You even hear us struggle into, there's no angle, there's no message. It's just a bizarre piece it's just a weird video.
Like
on YouTube.
either it's just like a very weird church doing like a corny video, or it is like high-minded performance art that has been sitting on YouTube
really
for the last 6 years and just waiting to go viral. And the moment has finally happened. And I'm almost leaning that way. It seems more plausible that this is weird performance art than an actual parody. And that's why I'm so interested in this.
There's like 15 people in that video all dancing. Somebody out there listening to this knows one of those people in that video. And if you do, we would love to tell. We're not going to make fun of them. We just want to know what's going on.
I just want the backstory. That's all.
Just tell the story. So reach out to us.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, very strange number one, but undeniably the number one story of the week. That'll wrap it up for this week's.
It's the high list. The high list. It's sizzling.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Brooke Ligertwood joins us.
No longer I who live.
listening to See the Light by Hillsong United. Jesse, you want to tell us about the our ad sponsor this week?
Yeah, so our featured interview this week is brought to you by our friends at Native. Now, Native creates safe, simple, effective products that people use in their bathroom every day. They create products with trusted ingredients and trusted performance. And Tyler, if you're not convinced, you can go check out their 9,000 5-star reviews. That's a lot of 5-star reviews from their customers.
Oh, yeah.
Very satisfied customers. So they're formulated without aluminum, and they're filled with ingredients actually from nature, like coconut oil and shea butter. And their formula has simple ingredients that you understand. Like, you literally will understand everything that's in the product that you're putting onto your body. They're never tested on animals, and it's free shipping and free returns in the US. So look, man, if you're out there listening, you're like, well, this sounds kind of cool. There's no risk. You can check it out. And if you don't like it for some reason, you can return it for free. They have classic deodorant scents like coconut and vanilla. That's the most popular. Lavender and rose, cucumber mint. And here's my favorite, Tyler. Got to give it a test run, and I can endorse the eucalyptus and mint. Smelled fresh and natural all day. Very clean smelling.
Oh, big. I can't wait.
Yeah. It also works. Making the switch to an aluminum-free deodorant does not mean you have to sacrifice on product performance. Hey, so if you want to check it out, you can get 20% off your first purchase. Go to nativedeodorant.com and use promo code RELEVANT during checkout. Remember, it's 20% off your first purchase at nativedeodorant.com. Use promo code RELEVANT during the checkout.
All right, thanks, Jesse. Looking forward to trying that out. Well, Brooke Ligertwood is a singer, songwriter, and helps front Hillsong Worship. Sure, she needs very little introduction around here. Jesse, actually, I believe, recently spoke with Brooke about the group's incredible new album, Awake, and the unique approach that they took to writing this album. Jesse, how'd that conversation go?
Oh, it was a really fascinating conversation because, obviously, I feel like Hillsong, everyone knows Hillsong. Everyone knows songs from Hillsong Worship. But I was kind of interested in what their approach is when they're sitting down to write a new album, because they've written so many that have really kind of shaped modern evangelical music for a long time. And, it was really interesting to hear Brooke explain how they were really kind of reliant on God and the church there at Hillsong to kind of craft the direction. Like, this is a very a communal type of approach to creating something, because it wasn't just like, hey, what's our next thing going to be? It's like, what does God want to do through the Big C Church, and how can we capture that in music form and provide these songs to the Big C Church? And here's how Brooke explained it.
We started pre-production in February of this year, the first week of February, and that happened to be the week before. Our church does a thing every year, as many churches do, I'm sure, called Vision Sunday, where our pastors kind of set forth, kind of prophesy over our church, really, and kind of set forth the vision for the year. And so we had our first week of pre-production, and we were sitting in a bunch of us, Joel Houston, Ruben Morgan, Bed Fielding, Aidan King, myself, were sitting in a room, and we started by listening to the songs that people were bringing to the table, and we started to notice a thread coming through some of the songs, which ended up being kind of even more so as the weeks unfolded. But just even in the initial week, it became clear that kind of God was really saying something around this theme of waking and rising and coming alive. And then our Vision Sunday service that weekend happened at church, and I just sat there crying through the whole thing, as basically all of the language that I was hearing in these songs was being kind of spoken as a statement to the church by our senior pastors, Brian and Bobby Houston, and it just kind of felt like, okay, this is something that you're saying, God, not just through us and these songs, but through kind of our movement as Hillsong. And then a few months later, Hillsong United put out their album People, and we thought, well, what is revival if it's not people awake? And so kind of it became clear that Awake needed to be the name of the record. So really, it's kind of, I guess, one part of a statement that kind of we're kind of prophesying over the greater church, I think, this year and beyond.
Taking that approach, Tyler, I couldn't help but think about like the legacy of worship in the history of the church, particularly as Brooke was talking about, the theme of awakening a revival.
Yeah.
And it was really, it made me think about the role that music has played in revivals throughout history. And I kind of wanted to get her thoughts on kind of, that legacy and how, the theme of awake and being awake, which is the title of the album, weaves into not only, worship, but also what God is doing in the church throughout history. And here's how she explained it.
I think that God uses, God, the Holy Spirit uses every form of engagement with Him to awaken us and to restore us and to kind of bring us to our senses, and that we're our spiritual senses in terms of who He is and what He's doing on the earth today, and prayer and worship have always been a huge part of revivals across the earth over the last few centuries and prior to that. And there's actually a song on the record which was written around doxology, which people who are have grown up in churches who think that would know. But as that was being written and we were diving into kind of the history of that melody, it was pretty profound that even in the 1500s, when that melody first came about and started to be sung by the church, it was basically a part of a worship revival that was happening in Europe at that time, because the church had reached a point where people would come into a congregation and they were disconnected from worship because it was only chanted by the clergy in Latin. And in response to this, John Calvin started speaking about and teaching that worship should be available for people to be able to come and bring a song, bring praise to God in their everyday language. And the Genevan Psalter was put together as a result of that teaching, and that melody to doxology was part of that. So I think we've always seen worship being at the forefront of a turn and a deepening and an awakening in the church. And it's this kind of beautiful cycle that has been happening for millennia, and I guess will continue until Jesus comes back.
The other thing you'll notice about this album is there's a real theological richness to it. Like a lot of these songs, there are songs on this album that there's one song in particular that walks through sort of the history of the church from the birth of Christ, through like the book of Acts, like you actually get like a Bible history lesson in the song. So I wanted to ask her too about that approach and the theological richness of the album. And here's what she said.
If we talk about an album in visual terms, like if you're approaching kind of a painting or even a puzzle, say, in a puzzle, I think one of the first things that you do is you find the corner pieces and the edge pieces. And so I think with Awake, this album that's coming out, the corner pieces and the edge pieces certainly sound theology and a strong theological emphasis, but then there's also prophecy is another corner piece that's a huge part of this record. Intercession is another one. And I guess the other one would be that it was funny when we laid out all the songs side by side and looked at the lyrics and how much the Holy Ghost is mentioned and specifically referred to as the Holy Ghost, which isn't a way that we refer to him often. I guess in the modern church nowadays we would tend to say the Holy Spirit. So it's even interesting that I feel like lyrically the Holy Ghost is front and center, and we're being invited to look at him and engage with him and learn about him in a new way in this generation, which is pretty cool.
And finally, I wanted to see too, because, the album is called Awake, and it's about awakening revival. And I think that's such a powerful concept, but not just a powerful concept, but it's a powerful thing to try to put into practice. And I wanted to ask Brooke, kind of bluntly, like you feel your church feels like this is what the message of the album should be. Does she feel like the church is on the verge of an awakening and a revival? And here's what she said.
I'm going to say yes. And if I'm wrong, I would rather be on the side of faith and belief. I really think we are. I feel like even if I'm looking at the signs and where things seem to be headed in our own church, Hillsong, I I do think that we're on the brink of something. But I also know that there is obviously going to be great opposition to that. So I think we, as the people of God, if we're willing, and there'll be people who aren't willing, and that's a sad fact. But for those who are willing to awaken into what God is doing right now and what He wants to do, I think it means there's a battle ahead of us. There's a battle on right now, and it also means that we have to be. We can encourage ourselves in the responsibility that we have to hopefully be good stewards of that. If God's going to pour out His Spirit in a new way in this generation, then will we be the people who are willing to not take that for granted or be familiar with it or trample on it, but will we be people who recognize it as precious and step into it with great humility, but also with a great sense of the authority that we have to go forth and make disciples of all nations.
So yeah, it's a great album. Like I said, very theologically rich, man. I was really impressed with the album, with the optimism, and also what the album is trying to do. It's trying to fuel revival, which I think is a really good and kind of admirable thing. So yeah, you can check it out. It's Awake. It is out now. It's Hillsong Worship.
Oh man, thanks a lot for doing all that, Jesse.
Yeah, man.
That was Brooke Ligertwood. Next up, Jesse's Game, Not in Our Lifetime. You're listening to So Heavy I Fell Through the Earth by Grimes. I think I helped inspire that one post-Thanksgiving.
Hey-o! You
still got it.
You hear that,
got it, folks?
I had some turkey. I had that pumpkin pie. Round 2, please. I kid. Sorry, I'm sorry. That was unnecessarily mean of your...
Jesse,
but I had some gravy. Am I right, guys? Pass that stuff. And
that was so... Oh, me and Grimes supposed to hit the same Thanksgiving feast.
I didn't realize Grimes showed up to my Thanksgiving. She was an old. I thought her and Elon were doing their thing this year. She's Elon Musk's girlfriend, right? Grimes.
She was. Yeah. I think that's over.
No. Well.
You blow one electric truck, and all of a sudden, your girlfriend, it's out of the picture. Yeah. Jesse, why don't you introduce? I'm going to hand it over to you. This is your game.
Well,
take it from here.
Okay. Well, I will say this, guys. I'm glad Elon Musk came up because the winner of this game will receive a free Cybertruck. Don't hold me to that. Tyler will be providing the Cybertruck. All right. So I'm very excited to play this game today. It's called Not in Our Lifetime. And I've been fascinated with Lifetime Christmas movies. When I'm ever channel surfing and I see one, I can't look away. They're so insane. And they follow such funny formulas, and they just, they keep cranking them out every year. And they also bring in like performers and actors who I honestly forgot about. And that's kind of the fun too. Like who are, it's like Aunt Becky from Full House. I didn't realize that she had a whole second life in Lifetime movies before this whole, college admission scandal thing. Like they re-emerge these actors from our childhoods in Lifetime movies. So they're really good at Christmas movies. So here's the premise of the game, and then I'll introduce our contestants. The premise of the game is I'm going to read the title and log line of a movie. Now, our contestants will have to, and I'll tell you who stars in the movie. Now, the contestants will have to tell, is that the actual title, long line, and star of a Lifetime movie, or one that I just made up? So the winner, like I said, may or may not, probably not, receive a free Cybertruck, courtesy of Elon Musk, if he decides to listen and donate one. Fair enough?
I'm on Craigslist right now, so we'll see what happens.
All right. So playing with us alongside Clark is our friend, our coworker, our Lifetime movie in-house expert, Amy Fulbrook. Amy, welcome to the Relevant Podcast.
Guys, it means the world to me to be here.
Now, how often do you watch Lifetime, Amy?
Like how often? Every day? Or just in
like how often during the day? Yeah, the perfect answer. How confident are you, knowing the rules of this game? You're going to get a title, a log line, and an actor, that you are going to beat Clark in this game and win this Cybertruck?
Outside of the fact that I'm a female and like whatever is important for you or on you into Lifetime movies, for me, it's 12 times more.
Oh, wow. Clark, what do you think? She has 12 times more confidence than you that she's going to win this game. What's your take? How confident are you, Clark?
I had no idea that there was a Full House cast member in the Lifetime movies, so I.
All right, I like your odds, Amy.
Yeah, Amy, it's looking good for you for that new Cybertruck, that all electric. Don't throw things at the windows; they break very easily.
I was going to say the window's still broken though.
Yeah. All right, Clark, I want you to start us off. Okay, this one is called The Flight Before Christmas. All right. Two strangers, one played by the former star of Blossom, share a room at a bed and breakfast when an unexpected snowstorm delays their flight on, guess what night, guys? Christmas Eve. The Flight Before Christmas. Did I make that up, Clark, or is that an actual Lifetime movie?
Well, because you mentioned the former Full House stars, I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna say that's the real title.
That is a real movie, The Flight Before Christmas. Amy, are you still as confident?
I absolutely.
All right. Well, you have to tell me this. Is this film called The Three Wise Guys real or not? A trio of brothers who happen to be the sons of New York's most infamous mob boss go on a series of blind dates to try to find love on Christmas Eve, starring Jonathan Taylor Thomas. The Three Wise Guys. Is that a real or fake Lifetime Christmas movie?
Oh my God. Geez. The Three Wise. No, I don't think so.
Wow, Amy, your confidence has not led you astray. That is fake. There is no Three Wise Guys. I feel like that would be a very watchable movie, but sadly it doesn't exist. All right, Clark.
We're just giving these out right now to Lifetime.
Right. We're just what really gave it away was JTT. Never would he be cast as a mobster's son. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I could see that. So. I think he would take the job, though. I think he's, I haven't seen him since his last Tiger Beat cover. All right, Clark. This film is called The Magic of the Season. The Magic of the Season. A world famous magician must perform his greatest trick yet, finding a date for the annual Christmas Magician's Masquerade Ball, starring Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga on Boy Meets World. Real or fake, Clark? The Magic of the Season.
That's going to be fake.
Clark, you are on fire. Amy, I would be getting nervous. He got that one right too.
Oh no!
I have instincts, I guess.
They're both doing better than I was doing yesterday when you were testing this one out on me, Jesse.
All right, Amy. I hope he's 2 for 2. Okay, this one, Amy, is called The Christmas Consultant. The Christmas Consultant. A workaholic mother hires a popular consultant, played by David Hasselhoff, to get her family through the holidays all in one piece. The Christmas Consultant with David Hasselhoff. Real or fake, Amy?
Oh, that's real.
You're right. It is real.
Wow.
man, oh man. Clark, Amy, we got a barn burner happening here. We got a tie game coming down the stretch. All right, Clark. All right. A shoe addict's guide to Christmas. Someone who's addicted to shoes. A shoe addict's guide to Christmas. Noelle, you like that name there? A holiday hater becomes locked in a department store on guess what night? Christmas Eve. There, she meets a woman who identifies herself as Noelle's guardian angel and introduces Noelle to several ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, starring Candace Cameron Bure, formerly of Full House. A shoe addict's guide to Christmas. Clark, real or fake?
I'm going to go with, let's do real.
Clark, you're right. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna have to get 2 Cybertrucks. They're both on fire. Amy,
Man.
Amy, are you getting nervous that Clark's doing so well?
Never.
I like the Amy with the swag factor.
Confidence.
All right, Amy. This one is called Miracle on 1400 Pennsylvania Ave. Not 31st Street, on 1400 Pennsylvania Ave. The president's 20-something daughter learns the true meaning of the season when the White House Christmas tree magically transports her back to America's very first Christmas, starring Mary-Kate Olsen. Miracle on 1400 Pennsylvania Ave.
I do not think that's true. Or real.
It's absolutely fake. But I have already written the script and it's fantastic. And you guys are unstoppable. Everyone you're getting right. All right. I gotta make it harder. I gotta make it harder here, Clark. I don't feel confident about you coming down the stretch here. Okay. All right, Clark. Let's see how you do on this one. This one's called Christmas on the Bayou. Christmas on the Bayou. A man played by one of the stars of One Tree Hill from the CW tries to rekindle a childhood romance with a New York marketing executive who's spending the holidays with her mother down south. Christmas on the Bayou. Real or fake?
Let's go with real.
Amy, he's right.
Am I really? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Amy, this is really coming down the stretch here. Okay. All right. Amy, this one's called The Christmas Influencer. The Christmas Influencer. Noah Cyrus, that's the younger Cyrus sister, plays an Instagram influencer who receives a mysterious DM on Christmas Eve that reveals the Christmas spirit to this cynical Scrooge, the Christmas influencer.
No.
Unbelievable. Tyler, they've gotten everyone right.
Are you talking like a streak on both sides?
I'm losing my confidence in my game writing ability here.
I think we just got this is what we get when we bring on relevant staff. They're just too good.
They are too good. They are too good.
Or maybe it's
Clark.
a Christmas miracle.
You're right.
This is a Christmas miracle. All right, Clark. This one is called Christmas on the Moon. Christmas on the Moon. When a solar flare causes 2 astronauts to get stuck on a moon base on Christmas Eve, they find an unexpected romance that's out of this world. Starring Alfonso Ribeiro, who was Carlton on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's going to be a fake.
This is unbelievable. We've gotten everyone right. All right, Amy, all right. There's only one way to settle this. Amy, I'm going to read the last one. If you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, Clark wins. That's the only fair way to do it from here because we only got one left. I don't have, this is how you're going to have to break the tie with this one. It all comes down to this. All right, Amy, are you ready?
Challenge accepted.
All right. Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever, based on the meme. A curmudgeon kitty voiced by Aubrey Plaza helps a little girl find the spirit and charm of Christmas in a holiday adventure. Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas.
Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas, played by or voiced by Aubrey Plaza. Is that what you said?
Yep. Yeah. Formerly on the cover of Relevant, she was April in Parks and Rec.
What a great cast. I say true. That's a real movie.
Amy for the win. Sorry, Clark. I know you tied, but the rules were clear. Unbelievable. Amy, expect that Cybertruck as soon as Elon Musk.
Congratulations,
listen to this.
Amy.
That was very, very impressive.
Clark, what an opponent.
It was great work on both sides, really. But Amy, the undisputed champion of Lifetime Movies. Congratulations,
Amy. Is this the best Christmas gift you've ever had? Getting to play this game and beat Clark on a national podcast.
Just talking with you guys is gift enough. Winning on top of that.
Man. Oh, wow.
Star on my tree.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a lot of pressure.
Amy, you didn't have to say it, but I'm glad you did. That was very nice.
Thank you. We are, I feel like I'm a gift to everybody. And so I thank you for affirming that, but it's telling me something I knew. I'm just
And Clark, don't let it get you down, man. It's the Christmas season.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, I bet Amy will take you for a ride or two in her Cybertruck. I bet she might even just take it.
She might let you throw something out her windows and test them out. So, Amy, thanks for being on.
Thanks, guys.
That's how it goes, Clark.
I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed that my game wasn't very hard. You guys got every one. Like I usually think I'm pretty adept at writing these, but obviously I'm losing my touch.
Those seemed great to me. I thought you did a great job, Jesse.
No.
Clark, you brought your whole game to the game. You know what, Clark? I'm going to throw in a Cybertruck for you too. You did. You played really well. It's a consolation Cybertruck.
Yeah. Take that Cybertruck, man. Just own it. Roll the 4-wheeler in the back and everything.
No broken windows, please.
Yeah. Get your couple solar panels for your new house too, courtesy of Elon. Elon, please make good on these. We're making a lot of promises for you.
I think with that, we're going to wrap it up for this week. Hey, many thanks to Brooke Ligertwood for joining us. Always love to have her on this podcast. Awake is out now wherever you get your music from. Also, hey, thanks to Native for 20% off your first purchase of Native. Go over to nativedeodorant.com. Use the promo code RELEVANT during checkout. Also, make sure you subscribe to Relevant Daily. It's on our Apple Podcast page. You can listen to me break down the top 3 stories of the day every day at the intersection of faith and culture on the Relevant Daily. And with that, I think we will send you all off to have a great weekend. I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Clark Flippo.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you all on Monday.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Now, my best life now.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.